Haha! Full battery. Do you know what I just realized while standing here, getting all my shit on and getting ready to go, is that I fucking take forever to get on a bike. I'm assuming that anyone that's ridden with me can probably attest to that. Is like when we're ready to take off anywhere, I'm usually like the last person ready to go. Oh yeah, and if you didn't see, a big shout out to Mr. Boris On Bikes. I actually haven't had a tank bag in a while. My last one, it kind of got ruined when I crashed. And Mr. Boris On Bikes, freaking dude's awesome. Dude's amazing. Make sure you go check him out. This was his Christmas present, which I really, really, really appreciate. It's so useful. I was getting tired of carrying around a backpack. Yes, I know it is a big-ass tank bag, but I wanted a big tank bag. I was getting so tired of wearing a backpack everywhere I went. And I usually carry a lot of shit. You know, you got your wallet, your phone, your bottle of water, all that shit. So, yeah, I just wanted to give really, really, really big thank you to Mr. Boris On Bikes. Dude, I really appreciate it. Honestly. What is going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about a false sense of security on the motorcycle. Kind of interesting. Just kind of came across my mind the other day while I was riding. But before we get into that, I just want to say, if you guys are not up to date on LA vs. SD 3.0, make sure to go check out my latest video. I'll go ahead and put the link up there in the little eye icon, little eye for India. Go ahead and click on that. Check out the video. Get updated. Alright. Now, false sense of security. So the other day I was riding, and I was lane splitting, and on the mirror of one of the cars, you know, I saw the little light, which indicates to the vehicle that there's another vehicle in its blind spot or on its side, and you know, I kind of was like, oh cool, he knows I'm here. And then I went home and you know, I didn't think much of it. And I always do that. I always get that, like, you know, I see that and I'm like, oh, cool. He knows I'm here. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, just because that light is on doesn't mean that they know I'm there. It doesn't mean that the driver is actually paying attention, you know. And then it kind of, I was like realizing that's kind of a little bit of a false sense of security, you know. A false sense that driver's not going to merge right into your ass and take you out. And, you know, I caught that I was relying on that feature of a car when I seen it for me, thinking, oh, well, they know I'm here, you know. And that's really not the case and really not how you should be riding. So I was kind of thinking, like, what other false sense of security things do I do while I'm riding that maybe I'm not aware of, that I've just kind of build a habit on. Let's go ahead and get past you, sir. And I'm sure there's others. Like, I was like, there's got to be other things that I do, you know. And so I started coming up with, like, some list of a few things. Not many, but just a few things that I could think of. Other one was eye contact, you know. And when you look at someone, I mean, it's kind of different because I have a smoke shield, but when you look at someone and you see them looking at you, right? And you get this false sense of security that they see you and they know you're there, or that they're not going to go, or, you know, that kind of thing. And I've had on numerous occasions drivers just kind of pull out in front of me, you know, on a turn off the side right here, even though we've had eye contact and they've seen me, or I think they've seen me. And so that's kind of another one that I was thinking of, like, yeah, that shit'll fuck you up. That'll set you up for a bad day, you know. An interesting one here is the GoPro. The GoPro definitely gives me kind of a false sense of security sometimes, that, you know, a driver sees a camera and they're going to be more, I don't know, courteous or more cautious, or not do stupid shit because they see the camera, when we all know that that's just not true. It's not true at all. But it doesn't matter. Mentally, I still get that false sense of security that with the camera, people aren't going to do stupid things. And I bet you a lot of you guys that ride and have GoPros, you probably have the same freaking feeling sometimes. I mean, maybe not all of you, but I know a lot of you are going to say, yeah, that's definitely something that, you know, now thinking about it, I definitely get kind of a false sense of security. And the way that I realized it wasn't because I was like, oh, yeah, you're not going to go because I have a camera. It was more because whenever I ride, if my battery dies or if I forget to change the battery, you know, in the morning on the way to work and I don't have a camera to turn on, I get kind of nervous. Like, I feel weird not recording every minute just in case something happens. And I realize that the camera gives me kind of a false sense of security in that sense, where as soon as I don't have the camera recording, because I always record, whether I'm making a motovlog or I'm not making a motovlog, I am always recording when I ride. And I realize that if I don't record when I ride, I do get a little bit kind of like, what if something happens, or, you know, people are, you know, going to pay attention, that kind of thing. So that's kind of how I realized that I do get a little bit of that false sense of security with the camera. Oh, look, we got a few riders behind us here. That's perfect, because that goes into my next one, is when you're lane splitting with a group of people. You know, and even if you're not the first rider, you're like the second or third, you get the sense that like everything's safe, like nothing's gonna happen because the cars in front of you are aware that a motorcycle is there. And while that is the case, like that's definitely the case, where I think riders are like immediately after seeing a motorcycle split might be a little bit more aware that there might be another motorcycle there. It's definitely a false sense of security. I don't know, what do you guys think? Are those pretty good ones in terms of realizing that those are false sense of security? What do you guys have that you guys feel when you see something, or when you're in a particular situation, that it gives you a false sense of security? And when I talk about false sense of security, I mean, you know, rely. God dang it! I keep saying relaying instead of relying. I mean, like, relying on something to keep you safe, in the sense of, like, you know, the saying, loud pipes save lives, right? Well, I believe it is true that having a louder motorcycle may cause more attention to drivers to notice you. In the end, it's still a false sense of security, because now you're relying on the sound of your bike to alert drivers that you're there, right? So for me, I'd consider that a definite false sense of security. When the reality is, when you're riding, the security really does fall on you to be aware, to be focused, to be hyper vigilant on your surroundings and the way you're driving, or riding, I should say. And I'm sure we can get like really, really deep into what the false sense of security meaning is. Like, I mean, like a stop sign could potentially be a false sense of security, because you're expecting a car to stop and not go, right? But, you know, I'm not trying to go that deep with it. I'm just trying to think of what I feel is a false sense of security, in the sense that it's things that I do and maybe I take for granted. You know, I'm like, oh, that light, you know, like I said earlier, that light on the mirror, oh, he must see me, you know, that kind of thing. And one of the reasons I'm making this video is because I realize, like, I have these false sense of securities. And I'm just curious, like, what your guys' opinions are. What are your false sense of securities? What do you feel that, you know, when you reflect on it, you're like, yeah, maybe that is not really safe, and something is just making me feel safe when it really isn't. And that maybe I can learn from that. Maybe I can learn from you guys and learn how I can be safer when I ride, and vice versa. Maybe you guys can look at, I don't know, the GoPro. Maybe you never thought of the GoPro giving you a false sense of security, but I mean, try it. Try to take, if you record every day when you ride, why don't you go ahead and try taking the GoPro out and riding without it, and just tell me what you feel. Do you feel safe? Do you have a false sense of security? Do you realize that you have a false sense of security? So I really want to get your guys' opinion on this and how you guys feel. Hopefully making all of us better riders and safer riders out there. Real quick, guys, I wanted to give a little shout out to Daytona Chick on Instagram. I'll put her link down below. For those of you that don't know her, she rides a Daytona, 675, like this beauty right here. Actually, hers is probably a little nicer, but on her way to work, she's actually involved in a hit and run. A car hit her, and she's in pretty bad shape. She's good, she's alive, but she's pretty banged up. So, I mean, if you guys can go show her some love, that'd be really cool. And I know GoFundMes, you know, are not like very popular, but she does have a GoFundMe. I mean, if you think about it, now she's out of work, her husband's out of work. Fortunately, it seems like they have insurance and they're going to get taken care of that way. But as most of you guys know, the bills continue on. So even taking off work, not getting paid, it's kind of a shitty thing to have to keep up with all your bills. So, I mean, if you if you've got a few nickels or dimes you want to throw her away, feel free. But, you know, definitely at least go and, you know, send her some positive vibes. That's always cool to see when you're in a situation like that people are thinking of you. So, anyways, with that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this little conversation of ours. If you're new to my channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button and smash that like button. Please, I'd appreciate that. I'm super excited for LA vs. SD, which is coming up in not this weekend, but the next weekend. Now, that should be fun, so watch out for that. There's going to be a lot of cool videos for that. And other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend and enjoy yourselves. Have a lot of fun riding. Hopefully the weather holds up for us over here so we can get some in, but if not, at least I hope it is for you. So anyways, guys, have a fantastic day.